as I know as a play, sometimes you just want to be distracted. And we have a wind-up at a cup, or it's about, there's always a wind-up about Murray, and he absolutely idolises Murray. And I said, Murray can call too much drugs or doing something, and he just laughed, and then he came back in and played really well. I was really proud of him.
It breaks up the bench, a bit of concentration.
Yeah.
Gets them back on track, I think, doesn't it?
Yeah, because I tend to remember as a player myself, you know, you want to just be taken away from it for a moment.
But I do the same as well. I'll take that side up,
That's it, that's right.
Voice, mind, before facing it sometimes.
So,
it's a lovely day, but
oh, no. Be careful about it. So did he tell me, did he go with fast star?
Hey?
Did he go with fast star?
We did it too.
I can't wait if I get in it. I want to get in over to fast star.
Yeah, that's fine.
Good afternoon and welcome to the Southwest Sullivan Academy for the second session of the 2018 EASP Finals weekend. Some house rules first of all for spectators before we start. Can you please make sure your mobile phones are switched off or on silent at all times whilst you're in this room? If you need to leave at any point, then please do not disturb any of the matches, and please do and leave as quiet as possible. And one last thing, absolutely no flash photography please whilst the games are in play. As each final is completed, we will be having a presentation of prizes in the lounge area, so please come through as soon as possible after the match finishes for those presentations. So, first of all, we'll introduce our referees and markers for this afternoon session. Put your hands together please for Nick Harry, Andrew Barkley, Stephen Hughes, David Cook, Mark King, Clive Brown, David Kirchhoff and Steve Darcy. On table number 8 this afternoon we have the final of the English Under-16 Billiards Championship. There's no rest for the wickets. This lad's just been taken on from his first final today. He's got another 2 more finals tomorrow as he bids to become the first player ever to win 4 national championships in the same season. The defending Under-16 and Under-21 Billiards champion from Oldham, Ronnie Davies. And his opponent, he's back here for his second successive national Under-16 final in this event. We're just hoping that this year the walk-on music works after the fiasco we had last year. Please welcome from Hartlepool, Jack Tyndall. On table number 5, we have the second session of the English Amateur Championship Southern Final. This match is the best of 15 frames. Introducing first the former world number 42, twice a Grand Prix last 16 player, Runner-up in this event in 1999 and a semi-finalist last season, he takes a 4-3 lead into tonight's second session from Bristol, Andrew Norman. And his opponent, a former world ranked number 80, last 16 of the 2014 China Open, a 2003 European Under-19 champion, a 2006 English Open champion. He made a 109 break in this morning's session to get him back into this match. From Albury, Jamie O'Neill. Session of the English Amateur Championship Northern Final. Introducing first the Piles finalist in 2009, the same year he won the Belgian Under-21 Open. He finished 8th in this year's Q-School rankings to achieve a place on the Challenge Tour. From Accrington, Farah Ajab. Winning 4 of the 6 English Amateur Tour events. He achieved his lifetime ambition of reaching professional status by coming through the EBSA playoffs in April. He has a 4-3 lead going into the second session. From Leicester, Joe Connor. And last but certainly not least, the future of the game, the final of the English Under-14 Championship. This match being live streamed on YouTube this afternoon. A player who qualified for the Premier Junior Tour at just 12 years old, an Under-16 semi-finalist this season, and last week he won the Merseyside Under-17 Championship with the highest grade of 128 from Blackpool, Paul Deaville. And a young man who's been playing for coming up to 2 years. This was his first ever EASP event, and here he is in the final. He plays at Frame Sports Bar in Coulston. He has a highest grade rating, and with a name like this, he was destined to play snooker. Please welcome, from London, Ronnie Sullivan.
Good afternoon from the Southwest Snooker Academy in Gloucester. Your eyes do not deceive you. Ronnie Sullivan is in the building. It's the English Under-14 Championship final, sponsored by the Northern Snooker Centre in Leeds. Paul Deaville from Blackpool versus Ronnie Sullivan from Croydon. That's not a great break-off shot. So, an early opportunity for Deaville to make his presence felt in this match. Ronnie Sullivan put in some impressive performances to reach the final. 2-0 victories over O'Shea Scott, Riley Ellis, James Bevan, Ricardo Drayton, Charlie Lockhart. Then a 4-2 victory over James Bevan again, Liam Pullen, and 4-2 against Michael Roberts. Sullivan plays at Frames Sports Bar in Coulsdon, where a number of English ranking events are staged each season in varying categories. Paul Deaville, his route to the final saw him have 2-0 victories over Mitchell Berry, Johnny Bates, Wesley Cooper, a 4-1 victory over Joseph Pitcher, 4-1 victory over Oliver Sykes, and a 4-2 victory over Aidan Murphy. He comes from Blackpool and has a highest break of 128. Paul Deaville is the older player by around about a month. He was born on the 25th of October 2004, which means he shares a birthday with Rhiannon Evans and somebody called Marcus Stead. Ronnie Sullivan was born on the 24th of November that same year, so not much in it in that sense. Both 13 years of age at the moment. Marcus Stead commentating alongside Tony Cannon, who's also responsible for the scores on your screen. Well, that was a fluke, and cue ball goes in off. So cue ball goes back in the D. Should point out one rule change. If there's a foul and a miss 3 times, the non-fouling player has the option of putting the cue ball back in the D, ball in hand. There's a change from the normal rules which has been put in for this final, mainly because of their age. There have been instances in qualifying tournaments and the lead up to the final where there have been foul and a miss situations that have gone on perhaps unfairly too long, bearing in mind their age.
What?
So Deaville seems to be settling into the match more quickly. Showing early signs of confidence. Good positional play so far from him.
Not sure if it's the players that are youngsters or the referee in this instance.
Who is the referee? Do we know, Tony?
I am not too sure, but we'll find out.
We will find out. Ah, there's an elementary miss there. Well, Ronnie Sullivan there was some way off the pocket. It's worth pointing out that we can forgive these players for taking a little while to settle into the match because they're playing on star tables which are the same standard as the professional players, and these are very different tables to what they'll be used to in a local club. Tighter pockets, cushions that bounce differently, totally different playing conditions. So what they would normally be used to. Well, the referee today is young Stephen Hughes. He's 16 years of age, and he's the youngest qualified referee in the country. So we certainly wish him well. His proud mother is with us in the commentary box at the moment. And she's right, she's looking embarrassed. She doesn't need to. She should be very proud. He's doing incredibly well.
Come middle of August to be able to drive, we'll be able to take driving lessons to come to the competitions.
18 months' time, he can have a pint as well.
Yeah. It is good to see youngsters taking an interest in
It's wonderful. I'm glad his mother popped in to help us with that, because she's rightly very proud of him. And for a young lad at that age to want to take on this level of responsibility of this magnitude, he's stepped up to the mark, and he's refereeing a major national final here. And who knows, 5-10 years from now,
yeah,
who knows where he'll be. And we should make it clear to the more casual viewers, perhaps, that referees are examined and they are graded, and you can't just walk into it. There's something to be worked at, and something where you can always look for ways to improve, and there is a grading system in place. So he does look like he's going places, this young man.
Yeah, he's very much. It isn't something you just pick up and do. You have to be, as you say, you have to be graded.
Yes.
Be tested. Make sure you do obviously know all the rules, but know them properly.
Indeed, inside out, back to front.
A lot of us think we know the rules, and yeah, still surprises me sometimes.
And when you're refereeing, you can't lose your concentration for a second. You really have to be focused on every scenario. If there's a foul in this rule, where all the balls are to be repositioned. Make sure you know where to stand, so you're not in the player's eye line or irritating them in any other way. You've got to know when to be firm if controversial incidents occur. There's a lot to be taken into account, and for someone of 16 years of age to have got this far is quite an achievement.
Yes.
Credit to young Paul Deaville here. He's showing signs as though he wants to grab this match by the scruff of the neck already. He's right to take a moment here to weigh up his options, because you've got 4 reds close to the cushion. A possible plant with the 2 bunched together, but that is risky. Well, that's not great. He's left that on.
The idea was sound, but it just
didn't execute it. No.
Just drifted out.
No.
A bit further. Now he's obviously has left the red above the black. Is also a possibility, maybe.
Oh.
But he's got a good white.
He has.
Played the percentage.
I mean, in theory, you would say he played that too hard, but looking at where the white ended up, there was a certain logic to it.
Yeah.
But that's an excellent shot. Well, he could have gone for the safety there and just rolled up behind, but he played the attacking shot, and He's got it, but is he nicely on a red here? I don't think so. No. He's always going to be up against it there. So a 19-point lead for young Paul Deaville. And Ronnie Sullivan is his path to that red blocked by the green. He doesn't seem to think it is. Well, you saw what happened there. Possibly not the...
Clearly didn't fancy leaving it by the pocket, did he? So
that was it. He's left one onto the middle. Paul Deaville, left-hander. South London has a long tradition of world-class snooker players. The obvious name springs to mind being Steve Davis, but Jeff and Neil Folds as well, Jimmy White. Going back further, players like Pat Houlihan, former winner of this English National Championship in the mid-1960s. Jimmy White would describe Pat Houlihan as the greatest player you've never heard of. Hugely talented player, Pat Houlihan. Ended up in prison during his best years for safe breaking, and then he didn't get his invite onto Pot Black in the late 1960s because he didn't get on with Joe Davis, which he always blamed for blocking his career path. But a supremely talented player, Jimmy White reckons he's the greatest of all time. But well, both players have missed reds there. Reds they probably know they should have potted. You never really want a double contact like that in any shot, but that could have been worse. Ronnie Sullivan got away with something there.
Confidence of youth. I think he's looking at this red to the corner.
He is, but at what point?
He's changed his mind.
Yes, and rightly so. Confidence is one thing, but when you cross that line into madness... If you want to tweet me, by the way, please, my Twitter handle @MarcusStead. Let me know where in the world you're watching this from. And do tell your friends to tune in, because these are the stars of tomorrow. And you can say you've seen Paul Deaville and Ronnie Sullivan near the very start of their journey, and who knows where it'll take them. There was a tournament in Birmingham in 1991 called the Meter World Masters, which was snooker's equivalent of the Wimbledon tennis format, with a women's and men's format. There was also a junior competition, and it was televised by Eurosport, and it was promoted by Barry Hearn, and they had a bigger prize fund than the World Championship that year. And playing in the youth competition that year was John Higgins, Mark Williams, Peter Ebdon, and within a year they'd all come through as the class of '92. Well, the Meter World Masters was never repeated, but so far as seeing the stars of tomorrow go, this is the right place to be if you're looking for the best young players in England. These two are both here in this under-14's final on merit. Decent shot, good position on this final red.
A little bit unfortunate.
A little, but a fine effort. So he's left his opponent needing a snooker.
Deaville 17.
Two 4-point snookers needed.
If he gets the black.
If he gets the black. Colours are mainly on their spots.
Ronnie Sullivan 8.
Well, an attempt at a cross double, treble, quadruple, whichever way you want to look at it. There's early signs early on that this is going to be a fairly attacking encounter, I think.
17.5 minutes in, and yeah, I don't think we'll see half hour for this fight.
No, I mean, Tony Cannon alongside me is referring to the match we watched this afternoon, which was rather heavy going in some ways. It was the under-16 championship final between Ryan Davis and Bradley Cowdroy. And how many half-hour frames did we see? At least 3 or 4 at least, and they got pulled off early. That match will play to a conclusion this evening. Ryan Davis right now is playing in the under-16 English under-16 billiards championship final. So Ronnie Sullivan requires a snooker.
Ronnie Sullivan 2.
Black winning off.
Well,
He doesn't look happy about that, does he? Fair to.
he doesn't mean it. But he'll take it. He'll certainly take it. Well, the cue ball goes in, but it doesn't matter. Paul Deaville takes the opening frame of the English Under-14 Championship final. He leads Ronnie Sullivan by 1 frame to 0. Referee Stephen Hughes just waiting for both players to return to the arena. So Paul Deaville to get this second frame underway. Well, that's not what Ronnie Sullivan intended, to catch the red on the way back. But he sort of half got away with it. Left a little tempter there to the corner pocket, but Paul Deaville is not going to go for it. And Ronnie Sullivan clipped that one very fine as well. But he judged that one well. He's left that red slightly loose, so possible opportunity for Ronnie Sullivan here if he chooses to go on. But he's going for the one to the right hand corner pocket as a safety. But he's certainly left that one on to the left hand corner pocket for Paul Deaville. Certainly be an opportunity to break build if he can get good position on the black. And that's pretty good. Then we're being a little bit higher on that blue, but certainly recoverable. Played that brown very hard, I thought. But he may have got away with it.
Well, they're open now,
They certainly are, Tony. There's a danger when you play these delicate little shots that you push balls further and further towards inviting positions. He's got a certain amount of cover there from the yellow, but looks like another safety coming up. And that demonstrates what I meant. That collision with the brown has certainly not helped his cause.
There's an awful lot covering.
Yeah, there is. He's been a tad fortunate there, really. This could have been a lot easier for Paul Deaville. Yeah, tricky little shot there. So Ronnie Sullivan's been let off the hook. probably could have done without that collision from the brown as well. Possible plant into the left-hand corner if he can see through to it. The entire right-hand side of the table is clear of reds. Lots of tricky positional play coming up, I think. Well, he saw the plant in it. Yeah, one's not quite what Paul Deaville intended, but they all count. And you could have done with that roll up against the yellow being a little bit more gentle.
Still got cover.
He has, but there's going to be a lot of very careful positional play coming up here if they're going to judge this correctly. And he's left one tempting close to the pocket. The rest. Ah, in off.
Oh. Ronnie Sullivan full.
Again, maybe if that was on a club table with the slightly wider pockets, that may well have gone in, but we are playing on star tables. These players will not be used to that day to day. So there is an adjustment to be made. Well, cue ball seems to be falling into the pocket a lot at the moment.
Ronnie Sullivan full.
2 shots, 2 fouls.
Yeah. Excellent long shot. Not an easy colour on for Ronnie Sullivan. Maybe half tempted to try out the black. Safety is the most likely option.
Green ball.
He's got a reasonable amount of cover. One. Well, it's going to be a safety. That's very well played. You've got the cluster of 4 reds to the left-hand corner pocket, which certainly 2 of them are covered, although the second one from the left-hand side may be a tempter, and it's in. Ooh. Unlucky not to be an easier colour.
Unlucky not to be on the black.
Yeah.
Just the half ball and might have been slightly different.
Ronnie Sullivan full.
Level board, always nice.
Says Tony Cannon, in charge of our scoring here. Fine job he's doing as well. an interval after 4 frames, 15 minutes, some way off there yet. Tempted to take on the green. It's unusual to see the colours positioned as they are at the moment. Very hard for either player to go red colour when they're positioned like this. He's going for the black. That was always going to be a tricky option, that. Cutting it into the yellow pocket.
I think it was important to bring something of value back down the table, wasn't it?
Yes.
Otherwise, it's...
Well, we're still in this situation, aren't we? It's going to be the same now for Ronnie Sullivan. Kind of red up and down like a yo-yo.
What?
Well, that's incredibly unfortunate. Ronnie Sullivan will be able to hit a red easily enough, but hard to see how he won't leave something on for his opponent.
Ronnie Sullivan 6.
Well, it could have been worse, but there's half a chance.
Needed to pretty much lay up against the ball on the cushion rather than impact it and bounce out.
And that's well potted. And as Tony was saying a moment ago, there are no colours of value in the lower half of the table as we look at it from our screen. So it's going to be more of this sort of yo-yo snooker. But he's run out of position here. It's not a red on from now.
6.
You had to be careful there not to go in off into the middle pocket with the cue ball. But that's turned out okay.
Apart from the blue going safe again.
Yes.
Which is unfortunate.
This is quite a test for both of these players because we're in an unusual situation here with the colours where they are. And for players of their age, still only 13, both of them, they're going to have to use a certain amount of maturity in how to handle this and not make any rash judgments. Has he got away with it? There is a red onto the right hand corner pocket. It's not easy. I think he rushed that a little bit. He's left a red onto the left-hand middle pocket. He's left a red onto the left-hand middle pocket. He's left a red onto the left-hand middle pocket. He's left a red onto the left-hand middle pocket. He's left a red onto the left-hand middle pocket. He's left a red onto the left-hand middle pocket. He's left a red onto the left-hand middle pocket. He's left a red onto the left-hand middle pocket. He's left a red onto the left-hand middle pocket. He's left a red onto the left-hand middle pocket. He's left a red onto the left-hand middle pocket. He's left a red onto the left-hand middle pocket. He's left a red onto the left-hand middle pocket. He's left a red onto the left-hand middle pocket. He's left a red onto the left-hand middle pocket. He's left a red onto the left-hand middle pocket. He's left a red onto the left-hand middle pocket. He's left a red onto the left-hand middle pocket. He's left a red onto the left-hand mi some considerable distance. And even if he had potted it, he wouldn't have left himself on a colour. Well, can he see the blue from there? Not to pot, even to contact.
No.
No. So he's going for the brown, I think. Or the black. But he's got cover on the brown to the red hanging over the left-hand corner pocket. To play this one off a cushion. Well, whether he was going for that red over the pocket or the two clustered together on the left-hand side, I don't know, but he missed both by some distance either way. He's left a sitter. Priority number one there, don't leave anything on. Three reds there and one next to the yellow. And that's a good shot.
Excellent safety.
Oh, and he missed those three reds completely there. 4-point foul. Referee putting cue ball back, foul and a miss. Both players missing some long shots so far, rushing things a little bit. I don't want to play this too hard. He did, unfortunately.
And again, there's a good white.
There is, yeah. Well, he's left a tempter to the left-hand corner pocket. And Sullivan would likely attempt this. Well, he did, but he didn't judge it very well at all. Now, has the blue given him cover? I'm not sure that it has.
Don't think so.
Decent safety from Paul Deaville. Not a bad attempt from Sullivan, but there's a red available. Decent pot.
For safety, likely.
Well, that was quite a clever shot, that, because there is a pass to the red to the right of the black, but the red to the cushion is nowhere near potable.
And the pink's guarding the yellow.
It is.
13-point lead is
Yeah.
it's not to be sniffed at.
Will Ronnie Sullivan be tempted by this long red opportunity? Yes, he will, but rattled in the jaws of the pocket. But he may have got away with it. Well, the brown blocks the path to that red that was attempted a moment ago, but the one next to the blue off one cushion. It's hit the blue first, so foul shot. And he's left the sitter for Paul Deaville, whose proud mother is here this weekend. Just popped into our commentary box a moment ago. That's nicely played.
So. Deaville 7.
Well, that could have secured the frame for him. Well, certainly taken him a long way towards it, but it wasn't to be. Excellent long shot from Ronnie Sullivan. Seeing if the green blocks his path to the black. That's what he was looking at there. He's doing a calculation in his head. Taking on the yellow. He needs all the colours to black to take the frame. The shot yellow to green is not going to be easy for cue ball.
Unless you're very good. Done well to get there.
He has. Be careful here. He doesn't want to knock that, go anywhere near that black and somehow knock it over the pocket. It's not too bad considering. Excellent. Oh, he was fortunate there, but as he knuckled it.
Unfortunately not.
He's okay.
Confident recovery.
Certainly was. Remember, he needs all three remaining colours to steal this frame. Oh, that rattled in. So positional now. Pink to black. Good cue ball control needed.
That's one way to bring it out.
It is. Will he go for it? No. So here we go then. Black ball contest to take the second frame of this match. Will anyone be tempted to take on a double? Well, Deaville has left Sullivan an opportunity, but missed this, and he could well leave the black ball hanging over the pocket. Well, it's more likely than not it'll be frame over with this shot from Paul Deaville. He'd get this 99 times out of 100 in practice, but this isn't in practice. This is in the English under-14 final, and he's missed it. But he's left it relatively safe. That's worked out well. Again, not a bad shot. Also, be very careful in this situation not to go in off. Sullivan will be reasonably content with that. Deaville just taking a moment. He's half tempted to try and cut it in, but brave to take it on. Well, he did take it on, and where's that cue ball going? Good grief. So this then for the frame. Chose not to go for it. And he's well and truly left this on for Paul Deaville. Just got to cut it into that green pocket.
Left-hander.
And a left-hander, of course. Paul Deaville pots the black to to extend his lead over Ronnie Sullivan to 2-0. Can Ronnie Sullivan recover from missing opportunities to win that last black ball frame? More impressive break-off shot than in the opening frame of the match.
He's left a teaser, hasn't he?
He has, and in the professional game you'd say they'd go for this nearly always, particularly nowadays. Paul Deaville did go for it, and he's left something on. Opportunity for some heavy scoring around the black, looking at where those reds are positioned. The challenge here for the referee: is there room to put the black on its spot? Remember, this young man, Stephen Hughes, is the youngest qualified referee in the country at 16 years of age, so this is a challenge for him here. Nice work. Tidy little cannon.
No.
We've got a comedian alongside us today.
Ronnie Sullivan, no.
Have much choice in how to play that shot, but he has left something on to the left hand middle, but Ronnie Sullivan missed it by some distance. So he's left nothing on. Oh, that was brave to take that on a cut into the right hand corner.
What?
Always roll up behind the black here. Again, he played that slightly harder than he needed to. They've been much tighter there.
Not my favourite shot to try.
Judging the pace is very difficult, isn't it?
Very.
Well, there's a gap, I think, so possible straight red into the left-hand corner pocket. I don't understand entirely. Not obviously, I'd understand if it was in the jaws of the pocket or it was rattling, but there's been a few of this, both in this match and in our earlier match, where they're missing it by some considerable distance.
It's just got to be nerves.
Yeah, it's got to be. The occasion.
Tight elbow.
Yeah. And that was a decent shot into the right-hand middle. Black and the pink are tied up, but in and out of bulk on this blue, perhaps. That's what he went for. I don't think he wanted that cannon into the brown.
It's always difficult to avoid.
Yeah.
Because it's often the natural angle. It's the same reason that it works the other
That's
way
right.
for splitting the back. So.
Again, didn't really stand a chance of going in there. The Reds are invitingly positioned. Whoever pots one, so if one player can go red colour, you'd think that is a great table for a serious break building opportunity.
At least the colours are sensibly placed at the moment.
They
it's
are.
Getting that first.
Yeah. So if someone can get off the mark like that, get on a colour now. It looks like, yep, he's on the black. So this now is a serious break building opportunity.
Needs to use this one to pull the white back into control.
Yeah.
Which is looking good.
It is. A bridge hand shot might be needed if he wants to take on the red to the right hand corner pocket, but he doesn't have to. He's got several options. One to the right hand middle, I think. Yeah. Well, that's far from ideal.
No.
He's on the blue. But it's another one of those shots I was talking about a moment ago, isn't it? He's missed it by a wide margin, and it's got to be the sense of occasion, because in a club that would go in almost all of the time. In practice that would go in constantly.
Yeah, I tend to agree.
The noise you can hear in the background, I've just diagnosed my colleague Tony Cannon with hay fever.
And you might be
I am. Ah, did he rush that shot a little? Yeah, I've suffered from hay fever my whole life, but I've known it since I was a kid. Tablet every day at this time of year.
I think a quick trip to a supermarket.
Ooh. They're not going in, are they?
Well, 6 of them have.
The award for stating the obvious goes to...
And I'd like to thank everyone for the nomination.
Ah, he misjudged that. He thought there was a path to the right-hand corner pocket, and there wasn't. Excellent long pot from Deaville, and he's on the black. So this is a real opportunity now for Deaville to break build. Reds are very invitingly positioned. He's got a little bit of room for leeway in some of these shots as well. Just trying to think, he's from the Blackpool area. The snooker club there named after Stephen Hendry, wasn't there? I think it's been renamed now.
I think so.
Yeah. Run by the Tart family, isn't it?
Yes.
Yes, I think so.
Why it's been
I know that, yeah, we're not going into that. If you know, you know.
and Les Dodd has a place there as well, doesn't he?
That's right. Former Slimmer of the Year. It's true that. Yeah, Les Dodd won a Slimmer of the Year award. Former main tour professional. Oh. And yet again he was some way off with that shot. Nowhere near the knuckles, nowhere near the pocket. But he's got a tidy lead. 32 points. Ooh, well that was a good effort actually, that long red. On a club pocket table that would go in, but this is a star table.
My club pocket table, I would have hit the leather at the back.
Well, Deaville was attempting to cut that in. Didn't quite work
Needs
out.
to be careful not to be too complacent. 32 points, yes.
Yeah. On the other hand, Sullivan needs to punish the mistakes, and that is a very good start. Nicely on the black. Clever little shot, giving himself a nice angle on the pink. take his time over this one because remember to pop the ball and get a good angle. The first part right, what about the second?
16.
Could go for the green.
Sullivan, 16.
So a let off for Paul Deaville.
His last half is advantage.
Yeah. Reasonable amount of cover with the brown there. Oh, careless.
Very.
Out. Miss. Paul Deaville, 4.
And he's left it on.
So won't be taking the miss.
This is a frame winning opportunity. Oh. Again, he rushed it and hit it too hard. That's really is as simple as that. Just something I think you learn with age.
At this age, you're invincible and vulnerable.
Yeah, but Sullivan there also missed. One to the yellow pocket. Now, did he then think that red passed the green and completely misjudge it? I think he might have done.
I think it was a very, looking at it, a very tight.
So a cut-in shot here then. Very tight what, Tony?
That it would have passed the green, but it was so tight.
Well, if he thought that, he should have taken a moment longer to think about it at very least.
And I think Ronnie probably would have got both of those balls that time.
This is now Deaville's frame to lose. Take on green or yellow potentially, more likely to be yellow because he's then on position for that final red. Now, is he going to try that red to the right middle?
You could take to the corner, simply because it'd be providing cover.
Right middle it is.
Right middle it is.
So that leaves his opponent leading a snooker. 1 4-point snooker for Ronnie Sullivan.
10.
Yellow and preferably green as well to secure the frame. Well, Sullivan will play on.
Paul Deaville, 10.
There are options for snookers looking at where the green, the brown and the blue are located. So the yellow is sunk.
2.
Is he even thinking of cutting this in or something? I hope he's not.
No, I think he's going to go for the snooker.
Yeah, I would hope so.
And he's underhit it.
He has, by quite some distance. And he's left half a chance to the left-hand middle. Which Deaville played. didn't want that double contact. This should be end of frame. Well, both players made errors, but Paul Deaville took his chance. He leads Ronnie Sullivan by 3 frames to 0. Paul Deaville leads Ronnie Sullivan by 3 frames to 0 in the final of the England Under-14 Championship 2018. There will be a 15-minute interval at the end of this frame. Sullivan tempted by that long red to the right hand corner pocket. Wasn't to be. Deaville left with a tempter to the green pocket early in this frame. They're going for them, both players, but not many of them are going in. They both seem to like playing an attacking style of game where possible. Oh, he was fortunate there.
Maybe he deserves a bit of luck. I don't think he deserves to be 3-0 down.
If you disagree with that, the name's Tony Cannon. Do not blame me. I'd welcome your tweets, by the way, at Marcus Stead on Twitter. If you've got any comments, any thoughts, I'll have a check on my phone during the mid-session interval. Do please message your friends as well, get them to watch this live stream. These are the stars of tomorrow. Both of these young men certainly have the potential to go a long way in the game. But poorly judged there.
Sullivan.
And here's Ronnie Sullivan's opportunity to really find his way back into the match, but he's asked for the cue ball to be put back. Referee Stephen Hughes taking his time to get this right. They don't have the aid of big screens that you see at the Crucible. That was a decent attempt that time, taking a different route by Paul Deaville. Sullivan might be tempted to the left, nearest to the left-hand side, to the corner pocket, but he's not going for it. And, well, that may have been the wrong shot option because evidently he's gone in off. And he's left one to the right-hand corner pocket. That one too hard, as has been the case with both players on a number of occasions throughout this match. They're not judging pace particularly well on this star table. Well, he nearly got a fluke there, but didn't. There's a very straightforward plant on here for Deaville. The problem he's got is that the black is kind of out of commission because there's a red alongside it which would block its path. Didn't play the plant, and that is extremely well judged actually, to get the cue ball over to that side of the table without colliding into reds and completely losing position. So he's nicely on the black. That's very, very well judged. But then this is a straightforward black.
What?
He'll be very disappointed, I'm sure.
Well, that he did the difficult bit there. He really did. That shot, I didn't spot it, and you didn't say anything either. But he found the route, and then straightforward black. He missed.
And then Ronnie just miscued. So.
Yes, he did. So a let off. Or does this blue pass the red? It does. Played a more gentle shot there, so that might give him some idea of what level of pace to play on this table. Played that too hard.
Deaville, 6.
Well, like I said before, if you aim it right, it goes in.
True. But when the pockets are this tight, that's easier said than done. Ronnie Sullivan's taken his time here because there's a bit of a traffic jam of reds as things stand, but he's going to go safe. Is that cue ball going? Oof.
Wide shot.
There'll be full reports from all this weekend's matches in next month's snooker scene. You can subscribe now at snookerscene.co.uk. All categories, all age groups, billiards as well. Decent long red. Nicely on the blue to the green pocket, or to the centre if he wants to. Green pocket it is. This is a break building chance. He's got a red to the left hand corner. Not many high value colours in around the reds at the moment. We'll be playing on blues for the time being. Young Stephen Hughes, the referee, I think has settled into this match very well for a young lad of 16. His mother was in our commentary box briefly earlier saying that his hand was shaking. Well, I think he's had a very steady hand. He's had to delicately replace the black on 2 occasions and several foul and missed decisions. I think he's handling a match of this magnitude very well indeed.
19.
Yeah, I have to agree.
Well, again, nowhere near the pocket, and he did take his time on that occasion. Perhaps he was thinking a little bit too much about positioning rather than potting. A 13-point lead for Ronnie Sullivan. Deaville will take this blue on. Again, another bad miss.
Unless he did just play safe to the corner.
He may have done, but we've seen him miss when he was definitely potting by those sort of margins before now. It is worth bearing in mind, to be fair to these two players, there will not have been many occasions where they've sat in an arena with tiered seating, people watching them, other matches going on. They will be conscious that this match is being streamed as well. So this is a completely different setting to what they're used to, and they are only 14 years of age. Well, 13 years of age really. 14 later this year. left-hand corner pocket, and he's nicely on the black. This is an important frame, I think, because if we go into the mid-session interval at 4-0, Ronnie Sullivan will know it's a long way back, but 3-1, it's still very much game on. Just an important passage of play, this. Again, he was nowhere near the pocket there. He has left Sullivan with a chance. Well, that wasn't a bad effort, actually. It's not an easy shot at all. Again, hit that harder than he needed to. Lucky not to leave Paul Deaville with a potting opportunity. This is a tempter. They're just not going in at the moment for either player. This one should. Easy enough to middle pocket. Getting on a colour's going to be a bit more tricky.
High for the blue, isn't he?
Yep. Cut this into the centre. Just about. A slightly better angle on the pink, but still potable. He's going for the blue instead.
Well,
he didn't have much choice but to go for that safety, so he's got a steady 15-point lead. Decent cut into a blind pocket. Deaville. Paul Deaville has run out of position here. He hasn't got the angle he needs to pot this red, so I have to judge this safety quite carefully because there's those two reds on the right hand side. Doesn't want to leave anything on.
Deaville, 3.
We've just been joined in the commentary box by Sally Hughes, the mother of Stephen Hughes, our referee, and you must be very proud of your son, the job he's doing so far. He seems to have settled into the match very well.
Absolutely, it's a big day for him, but yeah, he's doing me very proud.
He certainly is, and he's had a few foul and missed decisions, which he's got correct, and he had to replace an awkward black, get it exactly on its spot in the frame before last, I think it was, and he judged that perfectly as well. He's got a very steady hand on him, and you're rightly very proud.
Good, thank you.
Well, again, Deaville was some way out with that pot, and he's left a straight red for Sullivan. And nicely on the black. Minute frame so far. Would have preferred a better angle on this penultimate red. Yeah, that was a tricky angle. Will the pink give him cover on this? I think it probably has. Well, Deaville's looking at it. What has he seen?
It's difficult to tell from here, isn't it?
It is, yeah. We haven't got the advantage of cameras in the corners. But yeah, Deaville could see it.
1.
Yeah, if this was the BBC or ITV or Eurosport, we'd have cameras in the corners. We'd click the switch to there, we'd work it out straight away. But what we see is what you see. Nothing more, nothing less. He's a tad fortunate there that the black didn't block the path of this final red. He's gone for the double, and he very nearly got it.
Deaville, 8.
But he's got it relatively safe. He wanted to tie up that cue ball tight behind the brown, and he hasn't done so, and he's left Sullivan a cut into the right hand corner. Doesn't want to play this too hard. Did play it too hard, and he's left the yellow one for Deaville. So yellow to brown needed. Tempted to play a double here, do you think?
I think so, and if it goes in, a double on the brown.
Ooh.
Deaville, 2.
He hasn't got cover behind the blue there. Sullivan can see this. But this is straight green. It's the corner. Needs to get the cue ball back up. Well.
He was concerned about leaning over the brown.
Yeah, he was, and should have probably taken a moment longer. Excellent. Long green. Sullivan needs all remaining colours to steal this frame. Blue to pink. Tricky shot. Needs to get the good angle here. Not quite as he would want. Should get on the black, but not as easy as it might have been. And that's a good recovery.
18.
Oh, huge moment in the context of the match. Difference between 3-1 and 4-0 is huge, and Ronnie Sullivan will know the significance of that miss. But he's been let off the hook. Well, he'd be well advised to take a moment before playing this shot. Yeah. The naivety of youth. But this isn't easy either. Well, this frame has had everything. Apart from big breaks, that is. Both players have had about half a dozen chances each to really grab it by the scruff of the neck and get somewhere with it. And again, Deaville misses. Second black ball frame of the match so far. Will Sullivan be tempted to pot this black into the green pocket? He attempted it. Where's it going to finish? Ooh. Now that is half tempting. I wouldn't be surprised if Deaville took this on either. Well, he's decided not to. At least I think he decided not to. You can never quite be sure, can you? The width by which these two men are missing today. Will Sullivan be tempted to cut that into the right hand corner pocket? He gets this wrong, he's going to leave a sitter. Or cut it into the left. Looks like what he's looking at. Well, that's what he attempted, but again he missed it by a very, very wide margin. And he's left it on. This for 4-0 then. It does not want to go down, that black ball.
A little bit of good fortune with the white.
Yeah, I didn't think it was going in, so I kept my mouth shut. But again, I think Sullivan was attempting that as well.
Yep.
Oh, but this is straight. Almost straight anyway. Playing it with the rest, so it's not going to be easy. And again, nowhere near. This is absolutely extraordinary. This really is.
they've both been a whole lot closer, but I suppose it is because it's such a significant ball.
That's
in
right.
Context of this match.
That's right. They pot these balls for fun in practice, believe me. Paul Deaville, at long last, sinks the black. At the mid-session interval, he leads Ronnie Sullivan by 4 frames to 0. Join us when play resumes in about quarter of an hour's time. See you then.
Yeah, I know, making sure we range. My worry is that if we got it and there was some weird other one, it was 4, mixed up. Yeah. We're free with every time.
Throw. Ronnie Sullivan. Break.
Right, here we go. Welcome back to the final of the English Under-14 Snooker Championship, where Paul Deaville leads Ronnie Sullivan by 4 frames to 0. Play is now resuming after the mid-session interval in this best-of-9 encounter. Just to let you know that the result of the English Under-16 Billiards Championship final is through. Ryan Davis has beaten Jack Tyndall 6-6-1-2-4-3. So congratulations to Ryan Davis on the successful defence of his title. He will be back in action later this evening in the final of the English Under-16 Snooker Championship, where he currently leads Bradley Cowdrey 5-3. Before play had to stop there because it was running into the allotted time for the billiards final. So they play to a finish in the early part of this evening. But Deaville needing one more frame here to secure victory. And it's a red and a yellow so far. Marcus Stead commentating alongside Tony Cannon, who's also our scorer, responsible for the graphics on your screen. Paul Deaville has just 6 followers on his Twitter account. If you'd like to follow him, the hashtag is Deaville_Paul. That's Deaville_Paul. Let's see if we can double his number of followers today.
Paul Deaville, 11.
Tempter here for Ronnie Sullivan to the left-hand corner pocket. Nearly a fluke there into the pocket in the opposite side of the table. Wasn't to be. Paul Deaville is not that safe. The yellow blocks the path to the one loose red on the left-hand side. Now, is there a gap? to that right-hand corner pocket. Or is he going to attempt to cut this one in? He does. Seems to have his eye on the pink. Those of you just joining us, both players are missing a lot of long shots and sometimes some not so long shots in this match so far. But this looks promising. Oh.
Deaville 1.
We've had 2 black ball frames so far, and in the last frame before the interval, both players had numerous chances to pot it before Deaville ultimately prevailed. Queuing here is going to be extremely awkward because of where the pink is positioned. Excellent shot.
Well,
does the green block the path to the pink, or is he going to play a blue to the right hand middle? And this is turning into a decent break building opportunity early in the frame. Tempter when you see a ball positioned as the pink is at the moment, whether to bank the points and make sure your opponent doesn't, or save it for a bit later.
Seems like he's using it as a security for later if he really gets out of position.
It seems that way, yes. The danger there is that you just leave it as an automatic 6 points for your opponent at some point further down the frame.
True.
Impressive shot. Now I think he will go for the pink. And this is a steady little break he's developing here. We haven't seen any high breaks in any of our stream matches so far today, and this is certainly an opportunity. Oh.
Deaville 16.
Spoke commentator's curse struck there for sure. It's a very long way back for Ronnie Sullivan here, but it's just a case of taking it one frame at a time. He's got to pot those.
So.
Yeah. These are the great comebacks in snooker. The big comeback that immediately springs to mind is Stephen Hendry coming back to beat Mike Hallett in the 1991 Masters final. That's the one that still gets talked about a lot. Obviously it's not, this isn't of that magnitude, but for a young lad of 13, come back from 4-0 behind in a race to 5 is a very big ask.
Deaville 4.
That's not a bad safety shot. tempter to the right hand corner pocket. Yes, the steady lead as he has. Ronnie Sullivan had one eye on safety there, and rightly so, because he's nicely in behind the brown. Whichever option Deaville chooses here, he's likely to leave some kind of red on for his opponent. Well, foul and a miss. He's having the ball put back there. Second attempt. Reminder that in this competition, this 3 fouls and a miss, the non-fouling player gets ball in hand to put anywhere within the D. A rule change for this category only this weekend. That's a better effort. Queuing here is very awkward. Spider is out. Those sort of shots have not been going in for either player all day. Feel free to send me your feedback on Twitter. I'm at Marcus Stead. Let me know if you're enjoying the coverage. Let me know what you think of these two young players. Deaville could have done with an extra revolution of the ball there to get nicely on the pink, but he can see enough of it to continue the break. Deaville will be looking to close the match down around about now. He was maybe 4 reds and 4 high value colours away from crossing the winning line, but he's not there yet, not by a long way. So a chance for Sullivan. It is. Where these 5 remaining reds are situated, in and around the black spot. Oh no, something has in common with his near namesake. But again,
Ronnie Sullivan.
flushed that one a little bit too much. And that's a very good shot. Pink and yellow covering all options really. pretty tight. The referee's in our way. Yeah. What we see, you see, by the way. We've got no additional cameras or angles. We're looking at the same screen as you are at home. Paul Deaville was trying to get the cue ball in between the pink and the yellow, and he hasn't quite succeeded, and he's left one on to the left hand corner for Ronnie Sullivan. Decent pot. Well, that was a poor shot video. It wasn't easy, but again, we've seen a number of these today where they haven't even touched the jaws of the pocket. Decent pot. A little bit too straight on the blue for his liking. Attempt a black into a blind pocket. Tell you that in the English Amateur Championship Northern Final, Joe O'Connor has beaten Farrokh Ajaib by 8 frames to 5. So O'Connor, who's won 4 ranking tournaments in the English Amateur Series this season, is through to tomorrow's final. Where he will play the winner of Andrew Norman against Jamie O'Neill, playing in the southern section right now. Well, Paul Deaville would have preferred to have tucked the cue ball between the pink and the yellow, so there's a swerve shot away. Let's have it positioned back. Colleagues just popping into the arena to see what's going on.
Yeah.
So yes, the score is now correct. Paul Deaville 45, Ronnie Sullivan 33. Thank you, Tony.
You're welcome.
It is. This frame's been going 17 minutes. Looks like there may be a bit of tactical play still to go. Tad fortunate there. Does the blue block its path completely? I don't think so. Yeah, he caught the knuckle of the pocket there, and well, he's left the tempter to the left-hand corner pocket for Paul Deaville. Pot this and you have to say he's favoured to seal the match, but again we see he's missed by some distance. Well, Ronnie Sullivan played that hard. He may have got away with it. Well, Paul Deaville took that shot on, and rightly so. You have to say he's now favoured to clinch this frame, but getting the cue ball onto the yellow a potable position, well, it couldn't be done, so there's life in this frame yet, but Deaville very much in a match clinching position. Wanted to avoid contact in the yellow on its way back down the table. He did that, and that's actually turned out alright for him. One cushion escape for Deaville. He's hit that very well. Oh, and well, this isn't an easy chance for Deaville by any means, but full length of the table cue ball with it tied against the cushion. He'll go for this. The black means an element of swerve will be needed in this shot. Or he could play it off one cushion. And Deaville needs to think about this quite carefully, because get it wrong, you've handed your opponent a frame-winning chance. Well, he went for the swerve and he missed. So that's a 4-point foul. Ronnie Sullivan. And, asking the referee, Stephen Hughes, to put it back. She's doing. Young Stephen Hughes, 16 years of age. Faces yet another test in this match, and he's risen to every challenge that's come his way this afternoon. That looks pretty good to me. A little too far to the right, perhaps. Yep. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, you could see the arm, but he needs to hit it there.
Yeah. And he hasn't got all the gadgets and gizmos that you see at major televised tournaments. He's going by the sportsmanship and the judgment of these two players. And they are helping him as best as they can. That's one of the great things about this game. the honesty of the players. Nobody tries to con referees.
No.
So attempt number 2 then, for Paul Deaville. Yet again he's missed. Very likely Ronnie Sullivan will put him back in. And remember the rule change in this event. Foul and a miss, only 3 attempts, after which the non-fouling player gets ball in hand and they put it anywhere in the D. This needs to go to the left. We can't hear the discussion that's going on in the arena particularly well, but a little further, I think.
Just
yeah, a little bit further. Yes. Stephen Hughes has got that about right. Yeah, a little bit to the left now. He moved it to the right when he probably shouldn't have done there, but both players seem happy with this. Okay, so attempt number 3 then, and remember the ball in hand rule applies if he misses this, but he hasn't. He's hit it relatively thick. So 49 plays 41 with just the colours remaining. We have a contest.
So we do if it runs. I do wonder if he can see enough of the yellow to
Well, he's going to be playing off 2 cushions and he's missed.
he hasn't.
Referee Steve Starkey has just walked in.
Starkey.
Seen him for the first time in 4 years today, and he's looking well, but he's telling me I'm not here to enjoy myself. I'm certainly not here for the money, Steve. Again, a nice shoulder massage now, which is thoroughly earned. Steve, is your work done for the day? Yes, he's a man of leisure for the rest of the day now. And that's a decent safety shot. And that's a good 2-cushion escape. But nevertheless, Paul Deaville now has a chance. If he can get good, pot this yellow and get a good cue ball, it could be frame and match. If again. Has the black come to his rescue here?
Yes.
Wow.
Deaville, full.
Expecting him to miss that one.
No, nor me. Again, another little challenge for Stephen Hughes. Only 16 years of age, the youngest qualified referee in the country. That's a much better full ball contact. And when you can see him there willing that on so that hoping that the blue will cover its path, but I don't think that's happened. I think Ronnie Sullivan can see this. Paul Deaville, I beg your pardon. Indeed he can, so... Well, that's run way too far. Overhit that.
Perfect if you needed the snooker.
Yeah. So we're looking at a 1-cushion escape. Unless you can clip it, yeah. Oh, excellent shot. Really good shot there. very well there. So this now a chance to clinch the match. Ronnie Sullivan will need all remaining colours to steal this frame. Pots this brown. Sullivan needs snookers. Let's get the cue ball cleaned. Hit that thin.
Deaville 5.
Yes, the pink covers the path once again. He has had little moments of good fortune in this match, there's no doubt about that. With the run of the balls.
Yeah, but it usually balances itself out during the course of the match.
Well, yeah, that's a fairly cliched remark.
Yeah.
I think I try and avoid saying things like that because in this instance I do think he's had more of it than Sullivan, but nevertheless he's 4-0 up for a reason. Let's not take anything away from him in that sense.
Certainly potted well.
Oh, he has. The magnitude of the occasion has got to both players, but that was a fine brown to leave his opponent needing snookers, so there's Ronnie, quite right. You can only see their hands sometimes here. So he needs all three remaining colours then. Looks like he's going to get them, so it looks like we're going to keep playing. Well, he's kept this frame alive. He's kept this match alive. It's a long way back. The journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step, and he's taken that step. Ronnie Sullivan is still in contention. He trails Paul Deaville by 4 frames to 1.
Frame. Deaville 3.
You're watching live streaming of the English under 14 championship final between Paul Deaville, who leads Ronnie Sullivan by 4 frames to 1. Those of you just joining us, Paul Deaville is from Blackpool. He's 13 years of age. He's the senior player by just a month. Born in October 2004, Sullivan born in November 2004. Deaville has a highest break of 128.
Ronnie Sullivan 1.
And there's a number of junior titles in the Merseyside area to his name as well. Ronnie Sullivan is from Croydon. And plays at Frame Sports Bar in Coulston. Has a highest break of 80. Impressive safety effort from Deaville. Well, he's underhit that, and that'll very likely... Well, he could have put him back in there, but he hasn't. Deaville sees a break-building opportunity that he's entitled to take. He's got one red onto the left-hand corner pocket. It's not easy queuing. Now he's not on a colour.
So.
Well, the yellow ball blocks the path of the journey towards the reds on the right hand side of the table. Not quite sure what Ronnie Sullivan was tempting there, whether he thought he could pot that one. He was a very, very long way out if he did think that. And he's left a sitter to the left hand middle. Nicely on the black, that passes the blue easily enough. This match deserves a sizable break because both these players are capable of making half centuries on a fairly regular basis, even at their age. It would be good for them to produce that standard in front of a worldwide audience for the streaming. Deaville settling in well into this frame. Break of 22 already, and the red's nicely positioned. Where he'd like to be to continue this. Could be end of break actually.
30.
It's not going to be as controlled as it was.
No.
All around the houses.
Well, that's well done. But is he going to be on a colour? He is, he's on the yellow. Well, that was a decent shot, that, from Paul Deaville. He could take on the green. And he's pretty much regained control now because he's on a red to the left-hand corner pocket. Albeit with the rest, but recovered from that loss of position. Break 34 at the moment. So he's not nicely on a colour, but
35.
brown and black are reachable if not potable. You can play safe by clipping the pink.
Deaville, 35.
Useful 45-point lead.
Certainly is. 6 reds remaining. This long red's tempting. Excellent shot. Please do send in your tweets. I'm at Marcus Stead on Twitter. Know your thoughts on the coverage, what you make of the young players you've seen today. And both of these young men have the potential to go a very long way indeed in the game. Solid pot. You know, even if he doesn't make a match clinching break from here, you add another 10-15 points onto it. It's a very long way back then for Sullivan.
Deaville 1.
But even that'll do. Lower red on the right hand side might be a temptation, but certainly not easy. Well, he went safe, which is probably the right decision. Though he has left that on to the left hand corner pocket. It's not always easy to judge, Tony. Was he going for the pot there or not? I think he probably was.
I think he was. I think he's looking at the lead he's got. Thinking, okay, I can go for a couple of risky ones.
Yes.
Just to finish this off. He does want to make sure he doesn't give his opponent the table time.
Yes,
to
because
wake up properly.
the danger is that you make that calculation, you get it wrong, and Ronnie Sullivan returns, makes a 20-30 break of his own, and then you're in a contest, aren't you?
Yeah.
Sullivan 6.
Keeps chipping away. I know it's
That's
only
right.
6 more points. If he keeps chipping away.
Do that often enough.
Yeah.
Where's that cue ball going? Oof. This looks handy. Ooh, a little bit too hard perhaps, but you see he was trying to get that behind the green. Where's the cue ball going now? They certainly do.
Yours.
Interesting little passage of play, this. Neither player wanting to land the other with an opportunity. Sullivan trying to stop Deaville from clinching the frame. Deaville trying to prevent Sullivan from getting away back into the frame. And again, that's run far enough for it not to be potable. Tad slow, and he may well have got it behind the green. And now there's nothing easy at all. It is. The yellow blocks the one red, and the black blocks the other two to a large extent anyway. Just about clip this, which he has done. But he's left well over half a chance actually for Ronnie Sullivan. That's a good shot.
Behind.
Well, he would have liked to have hit the black there to split those two reds up, but he ended up missing them completely. So end of break certainly. Now how does he A, make contact with the red, and B, get the cue ball safe? Because with the exception of the green, the bulk end of the table is empty and the remaining colours are very well spread out.
I think it's the proximity of the black is going to allow him to use that as a stopper. Which is clearly what he tried.
Yes, but the end result is he's left one red very clearly on and half a chance on the other red. If it wasn't the final, the words of Tony Cannon. But, well, has he got a path to that red? The black isn't in the way, is it? That, or just off one cushion? Yeah.
Snook is required as well.
Indeed. Well, that should be frame and match. This blue to make sure. We have a new English under-14 champion. 13-year-old Paul Deaville from Blackpool. Bit of good fortune there, but the match was already secure. Congratulations to Paul Deaville, the new English under-14 champion. He is the more consistent player throughout, and he has beaten Croydon's Ronnie Sullivan by 5 frames to 1. Paul Deaville is the English under-14 snooker champion for 2018.
Yeah,